Hey, Green Machine friends and fans of fun. We have a lot of comics to get to. We also need to discuss, remind everyone that we have our promotion where if you take our receipt and you go to, what's the name? Milky, MLKY, the boba place in the mall, they will give you a discount. And then if you take their receipt and bring it over here, we'll give you a discount. So, you know, it works out two ways. Also, we're going to be starting a sale again on back issues. We're going to do 50% off. We have a lot of back issues, and we would like to fire sale some of them. So if you want a really, really good deal on back issues, they will start Friday. So come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In fact, I'm going to throw this out there right now. If you come in on Sunday because you don't feel like watching the football game, and you want to come in on Super Bowl Sunday because we would love to have a person here, we'll give you like 60% off back issues. Does that sound reasonable? Is that okay? One day?
Okay, one day.
I don't think we're going to see anyone. But on the off chance you want to come on Super Bowl Sunday, we'll give you an extra 10%. Yeah. Non-combinable with anything. Because then we'd be giving them away. So we're going to get to our comics this week. The first one is Wolverine versus Sabertooth. This is a 3D comic. I have not read it because that would mean I would have to open it up and ruin someone's copy. But we've got it here. I'm sure it's amazing because 3D comics are always kind of cool. Yeah. So, you know, come pick this up. The next book is Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. I love everything about this. It's a very typical Jessica Jones story. You know, she's got a cold case that she never quite solved. Something's happened. It's sort of put her in trouble with the law. They've arrested her and interrogated her, but she didn't break out of the handcuffs, even though she could have. And then at the end of the first issue, she got shot in the head. And somehow she's alive, and she's not quite certain, because invulnerability or healing factor is not really her thing, ever. Just super strength.
Sure, the last name's not Grayson?
Yeah, well, I mean, she is married to Luke Cage, so maybe some things are rubbing off. Maybe. But, is it awesome? Yes, it's awesome. It's a very, 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 very good Jessica Jones story. It's a detective story. It goes in all directions. This is Kelly Thompson's Maria de Ulias. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Jessica Jones' Blind Spot is awesome. So if you like this sort of detective story stuff, come pick it up. I obviously love it because I'm into detective stories. Next is Hickman, Silva, and Gracia, and of course we're talking about X-Men. Now, the X-Men comic, I think the first issue was like Summer's family reunion on the moon, which I didn't like. But every other issue since then has been really, really, really good, and this one is no exception. This one is amazing. Oh God, I had such a good time. I laughed out loud multiple times in this story. X-23 really kind of steals the show in the middle of the book. But it sort of centers around the I can't remember what they're called. The techno. They're sort of inside of a universe, inside of a sentinel kind of thing. They call them Childs with an E on the end, which is terribly precocious. I have to tell you that. But yeah, it's a really, really awesome read. I loved everything about it, and man, oh man, this run is just great. Go figure it's written by Hickman. Come pick it up. The art is astounding. And I'm saying that as someone who was a little critical of the X-Men art when this book first launched. Because they had, what was his name? Jesus Saez, was it?
Yes.
No, Larez. It was Larez. Jesus Saez was Doctor Strange. Larez is his name. That guy is amazing. Like, and the fact that he was done after House of X really disappointed me. But yeah, they come pick it up. It's great. Next is Justice League 39. I'm holding a variant because all of our main lines are gone. We did kind of warn people that we had to dial things back in January, so if you aren't subbed to the books you want, come in and get subbed because you might find them harder to get. And so this is Snyder, Jimenez, Samper, Albaran, Sanchez, and Hi-Fi. My God, there's a lot of people working on this book, and really, it shows. The Justice League has lost the whole Doom Justice League war. And you know it's bad juju, but some powers that be may have thrown the final Hail Mary.
Jim Lee.
Yeah. So, anyways, is it great? It's awesome. It's It's absolutely amazing. I've had such a good time with this entire run. I have little to complain about. Snyder the guy just knocks it out of the parks. It's like he puts together these stories where he's like, I'm going to sell just 1 billion action figures. Like, it just gets everyone hyped about their favorite characters. In this one, Martian Manhunter, I'm happy to say, is back. And, I've missed him. And it's John as he should be. So anyways, come pick this up. It's awesome. Next is Transformers number 16, A Bold New Era. What era, you say? Well, I don't know. It looks like Megatron and Optimus Prime are falling in love on this cover, don't you think?
Aww.
That looks like a Valentine's Day.
Super wild, man.
More than meets my heart. But good old Transformers. This has been the Transformers Game of Thrones. There's been political twists back and forth, backstabbing, people getting killed left and right. But essentially, this really is the fall of Cybertron. This is when Optimus was an Optimus. He was Orion Pax. There's another Prime in play. And good old Megatron is rising to power as the Decepticons? Yeah, that's what they're calling it. It's an upside-down Decepticon symbol. So, yeah, pretty much kind of a scam. Hello. Anyways, so it's a great issue. The art is on point. Issue number 16. I have very little to complain about it. It's just the proper amount of action for a Transformers book. Next book is Immortal Hulk number 30. God, IGN calls it the best comic series of 2019, but it's 2020. But yeah, it's true. It's very much true. And this picks up, well, the Roxxon Corporation has dropped Lovecraftian monsters onto several cities, and meanwhile, like, nobody is able to actually counter them because everyone is currently off-world, so that sort of leaves the task to the Immortal Hulk and the remnants of Gamma Flight. And some of the Gamma Flight folks are kind of angry at the other Gamma Flight folks for jumping ship and joining Hulk's sort of shadow-based stuff. So, yeah, it's been kind of interesting. Now, are these giant monsters actually giant monsters, or are they evil, sinister Trojan horses or evil piñatas? I don't know. You're going to have to find out. Evil piñatas. Evil monster piñatas. That would be a good band name. The art, of course, it's Immortal Hulk, so the art is really the Rolls Royce of art for comic books. The story is just amazing. They've rewritten the Hulk mythos 1,000 different ways, and they just keep doing it with all the characters, everyone tied to gamma radiation. So really, there's nothing to complain about on this Immortal Hulk run, and I've never been disappointed with it. Honestly, if you're a Marvel fan and you're not reading Immortal Hulk, I'm concerned that you're not a Marvel fan. Yeah, I'm calling you out. But really, it's just an amazing run. What is up with this? There is some numbers or something written into his hand. There is something hidden there on the cover. I wonder what that is. Okay, anyways. So, Immortal Hulk, yes. Go pick it up. Next is something I really love to see, and I might actually pick up myself. And this is the Usagi Yojimbo Color Classics. Now, this is number 1, and being true to words, this is the first Usagi story. And this, if you don't know how this goes, it starts with a duel, and then obviously Usagi wins the duel, and then his buddy Gen the Rhino shows up, and he starts to talk about his past, more importantly how he learned the sword, and that introduces you to the lion, who is Usagi's teacher. And oh my god, there's so much good stuff about this story, just so much stuff I love. And granted, it's supposed to parallel the true swordsman Miyamoto Usagi, so yeah, that's how he did it. Stan Sakai, this issue forever knocked it out of the park. I've owned it in comic form, I've owned it in trade form, and it's just nice to see it in full color, so come pick it up. Next is New Mutants, and okay, New Mutants. So we had the New Mutants in space, which I didn't really like, and then we had the New Mutants on the ground dealing with stuff, and the last time, like, there were all types of, I think there were drug kingpin guys that had nulled some of the powers of the different mutants, and Boom Boom is like, meanwhile, she's trying to figure out where her friends are at, So she goes and hops the portal and is pretty roaringly drunk and just rolls up and sees all this mayhem and is like, tick, tick, boom. And just unleashes hell. And, that's kind of what I want from Boom Boom. And, well, it got resolved. Now, if you know anything about the X-Men lines, you know that the New Mutants do handle stuff, but often it isn't handled particularly well. There is a lot of problems with the wrap-ups, and this is no different. I loved it. It shows that they're not the main team. They're not the A-team, the X-team of the X-Men. They're not the X-team. They're sort of the B-team. But it's great. It's very, very much New Mutants. It feels like an old New Mutants book. I loved everything about it. This is Brisson, Flaviano, and Lopez. And more importantly, this is the wrap-up of, I think, their first arc, although the space stuff is still going on, which is weird. But, yeah, come pick this up. This is Avengers of the Wasteland. Ed Brisson, Jonas Scharf, Niraj Menon, and this is not our Avengers. This is the Avengers of, wait for it. What universe do you think it is? No. It's the Dead Man Logan universe. Not my favorite universe. Something I really don't care about. But do we get to see some cool stuff? Yes, we kind of do. We get to see, the daughter of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage wielding Thor's hammer, which is pretty awesome. We also get to see Bruce's son, who is a Hulk that does like to smash, but does not appreciate loud noises. Yeah, I don't know. He kind of seems like he might be on the spectrum, which made me love him a little more. And then we've got another Ant-Man. It's great. I really liked it. The villain in this is Doom. Now, if Doom is in the future, how do you think Doom rolls up when he's going to conquer your land?
How so?
Take a guess.
Magically?
No, he puts a throne on a tank and rolls up on a tank. Just sitting on a throne. It's very Doom. God help me. I love Doom as a villain because he's got so much class. Anyways, as somebody who does not like the Old Man Logan, Dead Man Logan stuff, I can't stand it. I sort of liked Old Man Quill. I liked the beginning of it, hated the end of it. I didn't even get into Old Man Hawkeye. I really don't like that stuff. I like this quite a bit, and that's saying a lot. It was fun. It went a lot of places. It kept good humor about it. More importantly, the apocalypse didn't seem so, I don't know, gross like the other ones did. The other ones, I just felt like I was going to catch hepatitis just reading about it. Oh, man. Well, yeah. So this apocalypse felt a lot better. It was a little homey and a little... Not so rusty, I guess you could say. I don't know. Maybe I'm just running amok at the mouth. I like this one the best of all the Apocalypse Universe Dead Man Logan stuff, so come pick it up. Oh, and the art was really good. Really, really good, actually. It's Ed Brisson, Jonas Scharf, and Niraj Menon. So good showing, guys. Next is, this is Tomasi Kumar, Riso, and Farado Jr., and if you know that team, you know that this is Batman Detective Comics, but more importantly, this is the annual. Well, what story should the annual cover? Well, what they chose was kind of dope. It involves an old mission of Alfred Pennyworth, and the last mission that he never quite finished, which was the betrayal of one of his teammates. And so a woman named, what was her name? Mirabelle, I think it is? I think it's Mirabelle, but an old lady shows up in Bruce's house, which you don't break into the Wayne mansion unless you know some stuff. Like that's not something that happens all that often. So she breaks in and she needs his help to finish Alfred's last mission. And so that's pretty much what you get here. It's great. It's a great detective story. More importantly, I'm hoping that character sticks around. She seemed very, very much grandmotherly and sort of sweet in some aspects, and then really, really brutal in other aspects. She very much fit Bruce. So, anyways, this is the Batman Detective Comics Annual number 3. Come pick it up. Next is Kiss Zombies. Well, if you gotta have Kiss in a zombie apocalypse, eventually you might want them to hang out at George Romero's house. And when they get there, you might want them to be challenged by rednecks wearing furry costumes. I don't even know what's going on with this story anymore. It's so weird. Did I love it? I kind of do. Kiss is so funny. You can put them in any scenario, and it plays well. It makes me laugh. And yeah, it's great. They're combining a boatload of horror stories into one and using Kiss to counter it, and it kind of rocks. Oh, see what I did there? It kind of rocks. Yeah. Anyways, issue number 3, Kiss Zombies. Come pick it up. It's pretty good. Oh man, we have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This involves Conan, the Barbarian, and the Blood God! Okay, so we've been waiting 12 issues through flashbacks, through Conan getting messed up and sitting on the floor of a god's den just sort of bleeding out, through stories of his enemies, through stories of his conquests, across whole kingdoms and seas. And does he resolve the Blood God in this issue? Yes! Yes, finally! A whole year of our life! It's finally resolved, and it was awesome. I had a great time with this. This was the best slow burn around, and go figure, Jason Aaron, Mahmoud Asrar, and Matthew Wilson. Gosh, good showing. I feel like I'm going to buy this in trade because it was that awesome. The last issue, apparently Conan met Crom, and somehow I missed this issue. I'm so disappointed. So, yeah, that happened. Conan the Barbarian, I loved it. If you weren't reading it, you just don't like fantasy, maybe. I don't know. So, I'm like slamming people today. I'm sorry. It's really, really good, and this is the wrap-up, so come pick it up. Next is Scream, Cult of Carnage. Oh, sorry, this is Curse of Carnage, Scream. And this is Chapman, Brown, Mooneyham, and Barreto, and... Well, I like Scream as a character, and it's kind of cool that the character is tied to Mania, which is sort of cool. I didn't have the best time with the story. It was weird. So there is a symbiote that is essentially Grendel's mother, which is both Grendel the fairy tale and Grendel the character from Marvel. The character that had Noel's sort of spiral on his face at one point, the symbiote. So she's sort of controlling the dead in the ocean, and Scream's just like, yeah, let's go kill her. And jumps into the ocean, and then there you go. So what line do you think they say underwater?
Oh, God.
Are you ready for it?
No,
I'm doing it. Down here, no one can hear you scream. Kill me.
Why?
Kill me. Okay. So, the writing felt a little weak. I'm not gonna lie. The action was so-so, and I was kind of on the fence with the art. I'm gonna be a little hard on this book because the other two were pretty good, and this one was not that fun. But there are a couple things. I saw the symbiote do some pretty twisted stuff that I haven't seen before. That was sort of cool. And, you know, if you need more symbiotes, you really can't go wrong with Scream. I think they're building a good mythos here. They just kind of stumbled on the third book is all I'm going to say. The other two built some good stuff. It felt very much like early Venom stuff. And I do want to know more. So, there you go. We'll have it if you want it. Next is, well... let's talk about this book for a second. So, Sex Criminals is a great story that is comical, a little pervy, okay, a lot pervy at times, but, you know, comical, really good art and great writing. And it's about two people that when they make love, time can sort of stop. And in doing so, they've decided to rob banks. Yeah, because why not? And they've written several books. This is an amazing story that is for mature readers. Now, we get warned by people. It's always middle-aged women that come up and they're like, you really shouldn't keep the porn near the children's books, and we're like, oh, is that sex criminals? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, well, won the Eisner. I don't know anything over at Pornhub that won the Eisner. So, this is Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. It's the same great story. Granted, it is totally for adults. You could not... We will be watching the shelf like a hawk to make sure no kids pick this up. It's very much for adults, but they're going in different directions. They might actually break time, I guess, a second time in this story. And they're sort of getting glimpses of the future. I really want to know where they're going, because they're changing their mythos too. So, yeah, come pick it up. It's a lot of laughs. It's a lot of good laughs. If you are an adult, this is a great read. Come pick it up. Was that too far? Was I going too far?
I think that's good.
Okay. I did use the P word. Sorry. That's a word in the English language. Okay. Cult Classics. This is by Vault Comics, and this is Rahul Bivens, Jerry Monahan, and Esposito. This is supposed to look like old school horror. And does it? Yes. Yes, it does. It's pretty darn good. But it's really comical at times. You know, it sort of starts with a meteorite falling, and the meteorite hits Earth, and that's a trope that is very common in sci-fi and horror. And then it leads to people's skeletons ripping out of their bodies and attacking people. So the big bad in this is spooky, scary skeletons. Spooky, scary skeleton. And it's funny. I laughed a lot of the way through it. The one-liners, there are some good sort of brah, 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 gonna charge through the bad guys one-liners. There's a lot to unpack. I had a great time with this, but I'm a kind of a big fan of those old school horror comics. So I've got some rose-colored lenses when people sort of hit the mark, and that's what this is. It's pretty darn good, so come pick it up. Next is Protector, and this is Image, and it's #1, and this is Roy Benson. Trakhanov, okay. Wordy, Oatsmain, hello. Man, I'm having a hard time with these names. I'm sorry, guys. This is, well, it's a future after, I think, sort of an apocalypse, and there is a dash of sci-fi, and this is what if the Canadian tribes took over North America? And this is like 1,000 years into the future. And there is sci-fi. There are some robots that sort of fly down and take control of people to talk to other people, which is kind of a really cool, wicked concept. So I had a good time with this story. There's a lot to unpack. I mean, but it is an apocalypse scenario. They're sort of living in the remnants of our time, the relics of our time. And it was really kind of fun. I want to know where they're going with this. So I had a good time. As a #1, it did not disappoint. The art was great. It felt just gritty enough for that sort of scenario. So not much to complain about. If you need a little future Mad Max-ish sort of story, I guess you could say sort of apocalyptic story, come pick this up. Next is Superman Action Comics, and I have a lot of beef with this comic right now. Well, okay, let's start with how the last couple ended up. Leviathan was sort of calling the shots with the Legion of Doom, which kind of bothers me, because the Legion of Doom has brought the whole of the multiverse to its knees right now with Perpetua and everything else. And Lex is at the helm. I don't know why Lex would ever relinquish control to Leviathan. And they're trying to sort of justify that in this issue, but it doesn't feel right. To me, it just feels like Bendis is just let alone to do what Bendis does. And if it doesn't match up with Snyder's run, they're just like, well, that's okay. It's not okay with me. I was not happy with that, but okay, it is what it is. We have it here. They're sort of trying to explain why Leviathan was kind of at the helm for a minute there. But again, I don't know. I didn't really like it all that much, if I'm honest. And I have a lot to complain about with the art too. But that's just, I'm not a John Romita Jr. fan. I'm just not. I don't like this art very much. So we've got it. If you need more Superman and you really you like John Romita Jr.'s art, we've got it here. It wasn't my jam, is all I'm gonna say. So yeah. Next is another book that's probably not my jam either. And that's Suicide Squad. Now, you're going to have to understand, I am not the biggest Suicide Squad fan, but you know what you get with Suicide Squad. You're going to get a new team. Some of them are going to die, some are going to live, and they're all going to sort of be expendable, except Harley, who apparently is on all the Suicide Squad teams from here on out. And, yeah, there's that. There are other things I didn't like about the first issue. Amanda Waller just kind of handed over the reins to somebody else.
That's not Waller.
That's not Waller. No. So, that happened. And parts of the old team are here, parts of the new team are here. It's not really all that fun to me. But again, I'm not a big Suicide Squad fan. So what did I see here? Well, you got the team fighting, and you've got a little bit of intrigue, and there's going to be some betrayal, and that's pretty much the recipe for most Suicide Squad books. So if you are a Suicide Squad fan, and you need some new characters in your life, come pick this up. It's probably a good precursor before the Birds of Prey movie, and then Suicide Squad is being worked on by who's the director? It's the same director for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. So I'm sure that's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna flip around and be like, I love Suicide Squad after I see his version of it. But I've never had the best time with the comics, if I'm honest. So yeah, we've got it though. Issue number 2. Next is a book that I am so in love with right now, and this is Mark Waid, Kev Walker, and Java Tartaglia, and this is Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme, issue number 2, and I have very little to complain about this. The first issue, Doctor Strange meets up with some old villains of the Wrecking Crew, and one of them, I think his name is Crowbar? I can't remember. He has a crowbar, and it's a magic crowbar, and well, it beat the crap out of Doctor Strange, and he wasn't expecting it. So, what do you get in this issue? Well, he gets to lick his wounds and come back with some other new stuff that he's created, and it was pretty awesome. Every time that he gets to make something new, I have the best time, because the fact that he's making his own artifacts and spells is so wicked. So, yeah, we've never seen that angle before, and I've been so happy about it. Mark?
He's got residency in a hospital now.
Yeah, and he's working in a hospital, and then, I think the Druid shows up and is, one of his managers, and he's like, you're dead, dude. You're dead. How are you still here? Yeah, there's so much good stuff in this. I'm having the best time with this, and granted, it's issue number 2, but come pick it up. It's great. Next is issue number 2 of Thor, and again, we got to remind you, if you want to get the books that you really love, you either need to get here right at opening on Wednesday, or you need to subscribe, because right now we're dialing it back on some orders, and Thor is one of them. We had just enough for our subscribers, and maybe 2 on the shelf of the variants. That's it. Now, is it a good issue? It's amazing. Oh my God, it's amazing. So, the last issue we saw Thor being All-Father and sort of being a little bit old and trying to lead Asgard, new Asgard, into the future. And meanwhile, Galactus crashes down and, crashes down on his people, and he's panicked and he's worried. And it turns out whatever destroyed his original universe is back and is now destroying our universe. And Galactus has seen his end. So he knows somebody's going to be there, and that's Thor. So he powers him up with the power cosmic, and we get this awesome, cool-looking young Thor that looks a lot like the 70s Thor, if I could say it. And it's awesome. This storyline did not disappoint. Now, Galactus needs to... The way it's working out is Galactus needs to devour 5 worlds to gear up for this fight. And he knows in the end, even if he vanquishes it, he's going to die. Which we haven't seen all that often recently. We did see it in the Fantastic Four, I think. But, so that's going to be something to see, I think. And, Thor is of the mindset that he still needs to remain worthy, so he can't let people just die. So even if he's helping Galactus, he's still got to be Thor. He's got to be worthy.
That hammer's getting heavy.
Yeah, the hammer's getting heavy, and it pulls him in other directions. This is just darn good writing is what it is. I mean, go figure, it's Donny Cates, and who else is on this book? Donny Cates, Nick Klein, Matt Wilson, and VC's Joe Sabino. Yeah, good. Oh, and Copiel, and Laura Martin, and Enoch Lee is some of the variants. So yeah, this book is amazing. The art is so good. The story is great. Did not disappoint at all. And well, someone from Thor's past is going to show up at the end of this issue. And it's one of my favorite characters, which if you know anything about me, you'll know there's this, yes, yes. Yogi totally mouthed the words, and that's who it is. My phone is going crazy right now. I don't know why. I should have it silent.
Because of...
That's who shows up at the end. It's 3 words, and it's awesome. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, issue number 2. Come pick this up. It's great. Next is Spider-Verse, and this is Taran Killen, Juan Guerra, and Brian Reber. And this, if you can't tell from the cover, oh my god, my phone. I gotta put this sucker on silent, because it's exploding right now. Why are you going crazy? Can we pause for a second? I needed to silence my phone, sorry. So this is Spider-Verse, and this is, well, I went over the names, but should I do it again? Sure. Did you cut it? Okay. Yeah. Taran Killam, Juan Gideon, Brian Reber, and this is Spider-Verse. If you don't know, this is the web slinger. Yeah, the web slinger. I like that. Get it? It's the cowboy version of Spider-Man. And, well, we get a lot to unpack. Miles is kind of wound up in this universe to help him out while he's dealing with El Scorpion.
Oh, so that's the one from the movie, right? Because there's Scorpion, and then there's El Scorpion.
I don't think so.
It looks different.
Yeah, it's different. He's got like a hook, like he carries around a chain and a hook, and it's like poisoned.
Okay.
It's very cowboy themed. Everything is. So it's awesome. There's a lot of laughs to be had in this. Do you know the web slinger's horse wears a mask? Do you know why?
Why?
To hide his secret identity. I laughed.
Put some glasses on.
I laughed 4 or maybe 5 times in this book. It was that good. It was awesome. And they're sort of jumping around the Spider-Verse, just helping out other fellow spiders randomly. And Miles is doing what Miles does best, which is being lovable. And I had such a good time with this. So come pick it up. Plus that cover. Man, that cover is amazing. You could hang this on your wall and just be proud. So yeah, come pick that up. It's great. It's great. Next is The End, Captain Marvel, and unfortunately, this was my second favorite of The End this week. The first being Deadpool. We'll talk about that in a bit. But what I will say about this one was, even though it was my second favorite, this one was amazing. We get a Carol Danvers Captain Marvel that, granted, we all know that when she goes binary, she does glow with the power. So we've seen this before, but this style of binary is a bit different. She's definitely a bit more powered up than normal. It's kind of almost rainbow in color, and I like the way it looks. It's awesome. So this is her in the future, and Earth's kind of lost some fights, so she's just out in the cosmos, and she gets a signal from the Avengers that she needs to assemble. And she thought most of them were dead, so she goes back and does one last mission, and that last mission costs her life. That's all these The Ends. They're all going to eventually sort of die. So, yeah, I say sort of because that Venom one he sort of died. Maybe? It was a weird ending. This one was not weird. It was a great story, and it was a good ending, and it was an awesome sacrifice. And really, if they could have told more about her adventure in this universe this far in the future, I would have loved it. They could have kept going with this, and it would not have bored me at all. So, yeah, come pick this up. This is Thompson, Carnero, and Carril. Good showing, guys. Plus, again, that cover. My God, what an amazing cover. All right, this is Kelly, Hawthorne, Olazaba, and Redmond, and this is Deadpool The End, and this was my favorite of the ends. It is very much the end of Deadpool, but the first story is kind of touching. If you know the Deadpool mythos, you know that he's sort of in love with Mistress Death, and she's definitely in love with him. And meanwhile, this opens with him trying to kill her because he doesn't want his daughter to die. And if you don't know, Deadpool had a daughter with Domino in like one of the, I think it was a 2099 timeline. quite a while ago. So this is something that they've really dusted off. And it was fun to see. It was really, really sweet. And granted, it jumps around in the storylines. You get a lot of weirdness and stuff like that. But it's very Deadpool-esque. It's a great, great story of the end. And I laughed, I don't know how many times through this. There's the usual bandits of misfits that surround themselves with Deadpool. And it's fun. It's fun. So come pick this up if you need a little fun this week. Next is Justice League Dark, and this is Tinian the Fourth. Martinez Bueno, Fernandez, and Anderson, issue number 19. This was awesome. Granted, all of these have been awesome. They've relaunched, they've reset Magic, I think 13, 14 times by now. They keep rehashing it and saying, it's got to be ironed out and this and that. And they do. They do hammer out some of the mythos in this. We do get to see the Witching Hour Wonder Woman paired up with the Chaos Wonder Woman and then the regular Wonder Woman. And that was really, really awesome. Tinian the Fourth, he plays fast and loose with his magic system that he's created, and he's placed the rules down, and he breaks it at times when it's time to break it. And it's just fun, and it shows. He's a good writer. So, yeah, come pick this up. It's great. Next is our go and no-go list.
That one just keep going with, man. The good one.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm going to do just go and no-go. I was going to touch on it a little bit, maybe. This is a man thing that I'm not used to. This is, I think his name is like Jackson Strobe. I don't really know this character. It's in the future. It says World War IV. So it's a man thing that's very much more vocal. And I got to tell you, if you name your town Hemlock Hills, you're going to have problems. It's not a good name for a town. That's a terrible name for a town.
Deadly Nightshade Valley.
Yeah. Arsenic Village. I don't know where I was going with that. Benjamin Percy, George Ginty, Raquel Rosenberg. It's a go. It's a good time. I think it's a one-shot, but it's weird. It's a little weird, but it's go. Next is Olympia. This is very much a tribute to Jack Kirby, and it shows, and they get weird with the art at times, and then they go back to like modern styles, and it's good. It works. I think every time somebody dies or something's in the past, they do like the old newsprint style, and it's kind of a weird effect. I like it. This is very good. Go. X-Force. This is Beast at the helm of a CIA mutant team, essentially. And it's good. It works. It's fun. I laughed a few times through it. Go. Black Stars Above. The art is awesome. The story it feels like some kind of myth that I don't know. And it's very surreal, but it's still a go. Next is Frankenstein Undone. And this is from the Hellboy universe. Go if you want to see Frankenstein fight a Yeti.
I'm down.
It was fun. I don't have much to complain about. Star Wars. This is in between Empire and Jedi. Go. It's awesome. As a Star Wars fan, it's great. Little to complain about. Star Trek Picard issue number 3. If you've been waiting for that good Star Trek comic that never seems to quite drop, you're almost there every time. This is it. It's good. It's great. Go. Fallen Warriors issue number 6. I think this is the last one, and I gotta say, it was kind of a weird ending. It was very weird, and I don't know, it was just odd. The art was really, really good. It's a weird ending. So if you've been following this series, you should go and finish it up. Anyone else, don't jump in on this book. Read Only Memories by IDW. It's a weird art style for a cyberpunk universe. It feels very cartoony at times. But if that's something you're into, come pick it up. I don't know. There's like people with emoji faces on the back.
Okay.
So I kind of wonder if they just went like, what if emojis were a universe?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Let's make a movie about it.
Oh, God. The Emoji Movie. Oh, God. I didn't even realize that when I said that. Okay. Go or no go for Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. Issue number 2, go if you need a little more Saturday morning cartoons in your comics. It's very slapstick. Hawkeye Freefall really should have been talked about in the mainline stuff. There's a lot. The ending, it's not surprising, the twist. It's not really a twist if you know Hawkeye, but it was a really, really cool story. Go. Captain America, Justice is Served for Scourge. This is the Easy Coats run. Go. It's great so far. It's really, really good. I'm having a great time with it. Go. Amazing Spider-Man Daily Bugle is weird. Do you really want to know about the ins and outs of the operation of the Daily Bugle?
Not particularly.
I mean, I guess if you need another Spider-Man story, if the 8 on the shelf ain't doing it for you, you could come pick this up. But I don't care about Bugle life, I guess.
Yeah.
The art's weird too. It's kind of weird at times. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I'm like, wow, they really went heavy on the darkness. But yeah, on the fence. Next is Ravencroft, Institute for the Criminally Insane. I'm just not having the best time with this book. It didn't hook me. It was okay, and I get all the Ravencroft books are building up to it, but it was only okay. I gotta say it's a no-go, I think. It's hard. If you really need an insane asylum story in the Marvel universe, who pitched this? Then I guess go. Green Lantern Black Stars. This is the wrap-up for the Black Stars stuff, which has been oddly fun, and I didn't like the beginning of the other Green Lantern run. I'm having a good time with it. It was a good wrap-up, so go. Doctor Strange, The End. I will say that this particular The End story was the weakest of all the End stories this week, but it was still great. Go. I had a good time. The art was great. Go. Oh, we got to do our drawing.
Let's see. The winners for posters.
Oh, this one fell out.
Oh.
So that's what we're picking. 436.
36.
How did that happen?
Paramvir. Atwal.
Oh, Parnvir, you won a poster.
Yay.
Yay. 406.
Oh, wow.
These are a lot
All
of
the
400s.
fours. Yeah. Eddie Candejas.
Eddie Candejas, you won a poster. I'm going to dig deep this time. And finally, 407.
It's all the 400s. All right. Joe Wazinski.
We rotated it. Joe Wazinski, you won a poster. I swear to God, we rolled that thing and stirred it up and everything else before the shoot. I bet you get another 400.
112. 370. Oh my God, they're sticking together. People are winning.
Okay.
That's our show.
That's our show for this week. Yeah, so come in and get our sales and come hang out with us. We miss you guys. And have fun on Super Bowl Sunday if we don't see you. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 limerick oysters, 5 corpulent porpoises, 6 pairs of Donald versus tweezers, 7,000 warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 sympathetic, apathetic, diabetic old men and roller skates with a defiant propensity to procrastination and sloth, 10 lyrical, spherical, diabolical denizens of the deep who also around the Koki and Quiff, all at the same time.